like a lot.
I have like 300.
I threw a bunch out lately.
Yeah, I just raided my
eventually they
closet.
disintegrate anyway.
Some I wear, some I just store in my closet kind of thing.
I feel like the second I throw it away, I'm gonna want to wear it though. So I'm like,
I went through my whole wardrobe the other day, and I was like, if I see a shirt where I didn't even remember that I had it, it's going away. Like I'm getting rid of it.
That's like the Marie Kondo thing, right? Like it's like,
if it doesn't give you
make
joy,
feel good. You feel joy. I've been going through my. I realize I dress the same every single day, and it consists of a graphic tee and pajama pants. So
fair.
I'm trying to change that, but I don't have room in my wardrobe.
That's the thing, right?
And I've been going through it. I'm like, I already have 40 like gaming T-shirts that I just don't know what to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad throwing it out. They all mean something. How do you throw them out?
Just grab a trash bag.
Storage.
Pop them in there and you say so long.
So long, sucker.
Or nothing at all.
Yeah. The studio closed down. Get rid of the shirt,
No.
Right.
There you go. Welcome to another episode of a gaming podcast, everybody. Episode 38. Yeah, I've got the whole shirt deal and everything in there. Caboose, what's going on?
God, not much. I'm glad to be back. I'm sorry that I missed out on some pretty eventful weeks in terms of news. But we still got plenty to talk about today, so I'm happy to be here. And I mean, we're on the horizon of Summer Game Fest, which is awesome. You know, it's that summer game reveal season is upon us, which I'm very excited for.
Hey, you know what? You were busy playing Justice League. Thank you so much for playing, because I was like, should I go back? But I saw your video. I made the right choice.
Yeah, Suicide Squad. Oh boy. Yeah.
Make sure you
don't go back.
Make sure check out Caboose's video. No, check out Caboose's video, and you're caught up at that point.
I love that you name it like, I played Suicide Squad. You don't have to. Like,
That's how it is.
Yeah. Sammy, how about you?
Doing good. Today was actually a really productive game writing day, so I posted like a ton of articles over on Gaming Network this morning.
Awesome.
Other than that, I finished Deltarune Chapter 1 for the first time yesterday, even though it's been forever since it's been out. But yeah.
Has all of them come out for that? I don't remember.
It's Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, I think, right?
Okay.
I don't know if there's going to be a 3, but I'll take anything Toby Fox gives me, to be honest. So.
Okay. All right. Steve Saylor.
Hey, doing good. I'm about to launch my first game.
Exciting!
Oh my god, I couldn't even say it. TTRPG.
Yes.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's about to come out. Actually, I guess probably today when this podcast goes out, it's going to be my first RPG. It's not a video game. It's you can play it with if you're fan of like tabletop role-playing games. You can be able to jump in and play it, and it's called Pistols and Powers. Go to pistolsandpowers.com and you can get all the details.
You got
awesome.
Wait, there's a website? Oh my god!
Yeah, there's a whole ass website.
Oh dang!
And it's got flashback. Wait, you're engaged, Riley?
Yeah, right.
Wait, there's a website?
Hey, look, I saw the announcement, and I know we've been talking about it for some time.
Yes.
So I'm very happy. I haven't had a chance to check out the website, but now I will.
Well, I mean, we could still definitely have the gaming podcast, playing the Pistols and Powers. We can still do that if we wanted to do that.
Nice. Hell yeah.
That sounds like a great idea right there.
Yeah. Good content right there, too.
I love it.
Steve V.
Oh, wait, I looked that up, and I'm pretty sure I'm on the most wanted list now. Like, oh my god. Do not Google search that. Anyways, go ahead.
Google search what?
What?
What is
Pistols
the name
and Powers?
Pistols and Powers.
Pistols and Powers.
And then I got a bunch of pictures of guns, and I feel like
She probably Googled like pissing and powers or
That's
something.
what I think she did. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I mean, okay, all right. Well, Camille, it's okay because technically it hasn't fully launched yet.
We're gonna get
Google
you guys on the search engine. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I want to. We need. Okay, so y'all's listening and all, even on this podcast, we need to get this up in like #1 Google ranking right now. So
there we go.
Thank you. This is perfect. Thank you, Steve.
Give me the link.
welcome.
I'll put it in the description right there.
Pistolsandpowers.com. Like literally, that's the URL.
Yeah.
And there's also
if
like
I
the itch.io
disappear-
page, right?
There is, yeah. It's available on my own store, Drive Through RPG, and also itch.io.
Nice. If I disappear though, it's because I accidentally looked up guns by accident. And now
By accident.
Accident. Yeah.
By accident.
no one can hear your air quotations. Steve.
Oopsies. I did it again. Went on the black market. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
You guys see
no.
the TikTok of the person who like ordered cat food and then in the mail got like 6 like guns, like machine level guns.
What?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and so she's just like, wow, Amazon is like packing kibble in like really big boxes now. This is so inefficient. She goes to like open
That's
it,
wild.
and it's just like a bunch of guns, and she's like, whoa. FedEx got like the orders mixed up. So
What
Oh
the
my God.
FedEx.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to do.
Those goofs.
Fiddling.
Goofballs.
Silly gooses.
You know? Steve, would you like to tell us now what's going on, I guess?
Camille, may I?
Is that okay,
Yeah,
Camille?
sorry.
I'm just joking.
Put it
I'm
out
just
there
joking.
For the record, in case I disappeared.
No, that's a
wasn't
good
me.
call. That's a good
Yeah.
call. Have some paperwork for some
Exactly.
receipts to go back to. No, I'm doing really
Really
well.
Let us know about our Google searches in a second here. All right.
Well,
Sorry.
absolutely. No, but no, I'm really glad to be back on the podcast after missing a couple weeks due to travel. But yeah, I'm stoked to be here with all of y'all right before we head off to Summer Game Fest in a couple weeks. It'll be fun.
Get
Yeah.
some summer shirts and some summer shorts.
Ooh,
You know, a little
yeah.
sunglasses look
Yeah.
and
No,
everything.
no shorts for me. I mean,
Some
sunglasses
flip-flops?
and shirts, yes.
Button up Hawaiian shirt. Why not? You know.
it's so
Hawaiian
cold
shirts,
in
yes.
June.
I got those.
Tons
Yeah.
of
Oh,
those.
those are
But
shirts.
Steve Saylor, you gotta let the ham hocks out every summer. Get those.
I hate shorts. I
trunks
hate,
out,
I hate shorts with a passion. I really do. The only time I wear shorts is when I'm swimming, and that's also rare. So there we go.
We'll be swimming in games though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Flooded in games.
I gotta give it to Steve. That was actually pretty good.
We got him.
Got
Ladies
him.
and gentlemen,
We got him. We got him.
Yeah, you got me.
Riley, how about yourself?
No, I'm looking forward to the next few weeks and also Multiverses, which is out now. So that's pretty exciting. So
Oh,
play a
that's
little bit of
right,
that. Yeah, Jason Voorhees is awesome in that game. Like they really paid attention to detail with that character. So
Sweet.
I'm loving that. Looking forward to playing more of that.
All right.
Does he also have a mommy complex in the game?
I hope so.
This is a reference to me? Do I have a mommy complex?
No, to Jason.
I'm fucking with you.
Okay. All right.
What is
Are you insulting me?
What is going on here?
Hey, you bucko.
No, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't really show, but I just
You know what?
assume it's that same
Let's cancel the podcast. We're all going to jump into multiverses. We're going to find every single reference to that we can today.
There you go.
Oh, can we?
Did you platinum Sea of Thieves yet?
No, but I did hit Pirate Legend.
Okay.
Ooh,
So
nice.
I'm very close. I have to go on some Athena quests and get all the legendary treasures sold, and then I'll have my platy.
Oh,
There we go.
That is
Heck yeah.
insane.
Close though.
And
I
then
meaty legend
Emil,
upon us?
Camille, what you been Google searching
what
today?
are you searching on?
Pirate
What?
lingo, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't know. No, Google search just the one accidental one. But honestly, I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy we're all together.
Mhm.
We did go and see the symphony.
Mhm.
yeah.
Together
How was that?
as well. It was really something. It was
really
cool.
good.
It was
I just
good
wish they
to-
played
You're
It
not
was a
making
good.
it
It was a
sound
good
great.
night out.
That was underselling it completely.
Let me go back.
Yeah.
It
It was
like
one of the symphonies of all time.
well, no, I think like it's really great when you get to spotlight gaming music, but it's like really hard to connect if you're not familiar with certain games.
Right.
So I just wish there were a little bit more iconic game songs
Yeah.
that like really hit. But then at the end, Steve got Destiny 2. Which was like
That's great.
that was like really awesome and great. But honestly, I think we get disconnected with like live music as we get older because you're used to band as a kid and then like You may go to some concerts, but it's nice to keep it classy once in a while with the whole orchestra. So I really like that aspect of it.
I would
My
say they
one-
sounded very well, especially like some of them. I'm like, oh, this just sound like it came directly from the game, but they're right
Honestly.
there performing
The
it.
solos were
The solos
so
were really, really
good.
good.
Yeah.
My only gripe is that they started with Guild Wars 2, and I'm like, who really cares about Guild Wars 2?
There was
But-
four. There was
Yeah.
4 people in there that liked it.
Yeah.
You know?
But can we all admit that by the time we got to BioShock with the,
Oh, I
the
was like-
piano,
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, for those that don't know, that piano like piece, the I can't remember, it's something masterpiece, but that is like historically like one of the most complex pieces of music in video game history. So to hear that live, I was like, this is super impressive.
Yeah.
Even Ori with the
Awesome.
wind sounding as well that they
Ori,
made. They made like a wind
Oh,
sound for the
that
game.
was cool. Like,
Yeah, that was
I
really
couldn't even
cool.
tell what instruments were making that noise, but I was
It's just
like,
a
It had
metal
like a metal
sheet,
coming from?
and they
Yeah,
just
they
brush
had a
they
metal
br-
sheet
the
and
metal
they
sheet.
were
They
like,
brush along it. Yeah.
oh, that's
I think the
cool.
problem is like when where we were sitting, we couldn't really see the whole orchestra either.
Yeah,
And I wish I
true.
got to see like the flute section. We couldn't really
Yeah.
see that from
The choir was also kind
The
of
choir
hidden
as well.
behind the
the choir was
screen.
great.
I wanted to
If
see
the
the
screen was a
lady
little
yelling.
higher. Yeah,
Oh,
the screen
yeah.
was a little higher. But honestly, like the Ori, that reminded me how good that game is. Like
Yeah.
that's a really
That's a
good
great game.
But yeah, it was great seeing all of you at the Symphony Game On Orchestra. And then I've just been running on no sleep. But I mean, what's new? Why are you laughing, Riley? This
But
is
it's
my
just the
gripe,
way
okay?
you just had to be so theatric with it. The symphony.
Riley, you should know by now.
That was southern.
That was
What was that?
Turned into a southern
We
belle
went
right
down a
now.
southern
I was
belle
trying to do
just now.
Christopher Walken's, but making my own. And
That is not the name I
That was
expected
So
to
not-
hear.
far off.
That-
Can you do it
Way
again? I think you almost
off.
had it. No,
Yeah.
no, she almost had it. Can you do it again?
We were doing after we met for Game On. We tried to do a little bit of impressions, like video game impressions.
Yep,
I really
we
thought
did.
I had a strong Peach, and like I was so excited to show everyone my impression of Peach, and then it was like dead.
Was that it
silence
just now?
after,
Because that's just
and,
you.
that was like, well, that kind of sounds like you. That
It's
that
just
was like
you.
you all were just like silent. Well, that kind of sounds.
No, it was great.
Good.
I was
crushed my
Can you do
actually
it for us now? Actually, maybe we didn't give you enough of a platform. It's all you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Peach
Oh, no.
from
I'm closing my
Mario
eyes.
Kart 64. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Envision Peach in her cart. All right.
Throw in a blue shell.
She,
Go ahead.
she just
Yeah.
won first place.
Oh, okay.
Peach has got it.
Wow.
Wow.
Identical.
Yeah.
All right, have a good one, guys. It was great.
Although the
All
kind
right.
sounded a little bit more like Paulina, like a little bit
Oh,
sultry kind of
Steve,
voice to it.
Give me something. Give me something.
No, I said it had Peach mixed in with Paulina. Like it was kind
Okay.
of did that kind of vibe.
All right, thank you.
that's
I'll
a-
take it. I do have a mean Yoshi.
What?
though.
Okay, let's
Actually,
hear it.
Getting,
I've been working on my
Wow.
toad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
That was a very mean Yoshi.
that was so good.
Wait, you did
Not
it?
bad.
That was
I
it.
just- you missed it. It's
Oh,
too good.
I heard
It's
thwap.
too-
That's what I heard. I was
what's
like, what the?
You did it?
That's what I heard.
Oh my
Competing with the
gosh.
lady in the orchestra. Thwap! You know. So.
Oh yeah.
Well, topic number one: Xbox finally confirms Call of Duty is coming for Game Pass, and then our good buddy, good old Jeff, had to confirm that it's also coming on PC as well because Xbox couldn't just add 3 more words. You know, just it's just like no Game Pass, that's it, and everything.
Yeah.
Is this a big surprise to anyone else? Is this were they
No.
forced to do this year? Was this
No,
going to be a next
I don't
year
think
thing?
so.
Yeah, no, this makes sense. I think it all kind of adds up with what we were sort of saying when we first heard about like this whole acquisition. This is going to be part of the plan. If they weren't going to go full on these Call of Duty games are Xbox exclusive now, this was going to be a huge deal for them to be able to nab Call of Duty and have it come day and date for Game Pass. I mean, them mentioning as well it's coming to PC Game Pass. Yeah, I mean it's a big get. It's a big get, but all we've been hearing so far when it comes to Game Pass is, yeah, our subscriber base is kind of stagnated. I mean, maybe this is going to help it jump up like exponentially. We'll have to
Yeah.
wait and see when Call of
I
Duty
think this
rolls around.
is what Microsoft was wanting them to do. It was
Maybe.
like this is like say it like subscriptions are floundering. you got to put this on day one on Game Pass. And I think that my prediction is that probably will definitely increase the subscription sales, or subscriptions for Game Pass.
By how much?
But by how much? And also, like, I don't think it's really going to push for more like console sales. I don't think if they were expecting that.
Yeah.
But yeah, also as well, and like it makes me kind of wonder is like also which version are we going to get? Because, Call of Duty likes to be able to put their like campaigns early or multiplayer early. So what day one are we talking about?
It's
I think it might just be
that's a really good point.
Well, if you recall Starfield, they actually gave you the option to upgrade to the premium edition from the Game Pass subscription. So I can see something similar operating for them there.
Maybe.
But I saw Brad Sams posted just while we're talking about this, like some of the rough math that Xbox is probably hoping to see for this like decision to make sense for them. So it's like the rough math. Brad Sams used to work at Microsoft, so he has like a pretty good track record for knowing how they think. Rough math suggests that Xbox needs to, add at least 2.5 million subs for this to make sense. Optimally around 4.7 to 5, or in a perfect world 11 million to fully recover potential lost sales in the first month. So they're going big. They're betting big on it.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. I mean, the issue is that when you look at casual audiences, like people who are already subscribed to Game Pass and everything, this is a great carrot at the end of the stick to say, okay, come October, November, I'm not going to end up canceling my Game Pass subscription. I'm going to keep it going for a few more months. The issue, and this is something I've been saying for months at this point, even by the time Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard, is that this whole deal, this whole promise of bringing Call of Duty to Xbox Game Pass doesn't speak to core Xbox Game Pass users at all, in my opinion, simply because the cost proposition just doesn't even make sense. Because if you're into Call of Duty and that is your quote unquote forever game, similar to, a Fortnite or an Apex Legends, you would just buy Call of Duty at that point.
Exactly.
I think
it's $70 versus $120, $140, depending on where you live. If you want Ultimate,
especially if you're trying to play Warzone or something too, where that ends up just being like a free to play thing, right?
Which is already, but that's the thing. It's already free to play on Xbox, so it's like you don't need like Game Pass in order to be able to do it.
Not the multiplayer.
But here's what I'm thinking though is that. And again, I'm saying this as someone who works on Call of Duty. I can actually be able to say that Black Ops 6 is the game that I've technically been working on, so I can clarify that. Thanks. But I think what will really sell Game Pass to COD players would be if, for whatever reason, and again, I don't know anything about this, but this is my speculation, is if they release a whole bunch of Call of Duty games on Game Pass, like sometime with like this summer or
they have pretty big.
That would be huge and would really be a nice selling point for the for COD players to be like, oh, you want to go back and play the original Black Ops? You can be able to play it on Game Pass.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, Steve. And but again, this is something that Microsoft is notoriously getting into, which is short-term promises, short-term deals, short-term opportunities. Come next year, when they already have flushed all the Call of Duty games onto Game Pass, that proposition, that $70 proposition that comes for, Modern Warfare 4 or whatever next year's Call of Duty is, still doesn't make any sense for Call of Duty players.
Well,
and
I think it could,
core.
But no, it could. I think if you have a bundle, so like Game Pass is something that a lot of COD Battle Pass is something that a lot of COD fans purchase. I think if you're able to purchase Game Pass and it maybe gives you discounts on these things, so maybe you're getting Battle Pass, maybe you're getting like 4 skins. I think that is something that they may do.
But they're not allowed to.
That $70 price.
Sorry, $70.
Go.
Because they're not allowed to, as far as I know, because they promise 10-year parity across the board. They would have to offer the exact same
parity. But then, like, what is parity? Because even if it's coming day one to Game Pass, is that really parity then? That's kind of like where I'm trying to understand, how that parity is defined, because I wasn't even expecting to see Call of Duty on Game Pass this early.
I thought I was against
a newer version, because
agreement.
I thought because of that parity, they did have to wait a few years. I think seeing previous Call of Duty titles, that makes sense. But to see a new Call of Duty title day one, I now have questions about parity and like what that truly means.
But
that kind of opens my eyes to like why, Sony was like, hey, this is actually not going to be parity, in their argument, because now I'm kind of seeing it on that side where it's like, is this really parity?
But even then, is this something where let's say you're a diehard PlayStation fan, or even let's say you're a higher up at PlayStation and you're hearing about this, is this something where you're like, man, we're taking a massive blow right now having this come to Xbox Game Pass day one? Because I agree with what Stevie is saying. There are a lot of people where Call of Duty is their game. This is like every single year, October, November, I'm jumping into Call of Duty. I'm playing that throughout the whole year until the next one, right? And it wouldn't make sense to be forking over however many dollars it would end up costing you month to month paying for Game Pass for that, when you could just buy the game outright for your $70 or $80 and now you own it, right? And so I think what it can be really beneficial for, especially that now we know it's coming to PC Game Pass, is for those kinds of players, for even someone like myself, where Call of Duty isn't my forever game. It's my like, I'll jump in, I'll play some Call of Duty maybe, or like I said, Warzone's free, so that's obviously very accessible for me. I like it for that reason, but I'm not going to be someone who's jumping in, day out to play Call of Duty multiplayer. But maybe if it's on Game Pass, it'll entice me a little more. I can jump in, I can try it out and have a little bit of fun and move on.
But here's the thing though, is that $70 price tag, that's not going to entice, we're not talking Xbox players. Like everyone, as you said, like everyone who plays COD was going to play COD no matter what platform they've been playing on for years at this point. They're going to buy it on PC. They're going to buy it on PlayStation. Whatever they've been using before. I don't think that's going to, like, having it on Game Pass is going to change anyone's minds. Like, again, Xbox is third place in the console sort of sales, as it were, and like they're not gonna turn the needle, being like, oh, you know what, hey, you'll be able to get, like, it's going to be cheaper to be able to play it on Game Pass if you subscribe to Game Pass. Yeah, sure, it might convert some COD fans, especially who play COD on Xbox, but I don't think, like, this is more of, it's going to be available exactly where you played it before. It's going to be available at the same price that you played it before. It's just, hey, if you're on Xbox, you can play this day one if you already have an Xbox Game Pass subscription. Yeah. And it may be like, oh, you know what? Like, for those who are on Xbox, be like, oh, you know what? I'm actually, because I already had a Game Pass subscription, I don't need to necessarily buy it for this year. Great. I'll play it. I'll try it out. And maybe if it's just for the campaign, and then that's it. And then, you know what? I'm going to buy the stuff that you're already going to get microtransactions for, like Season Pass or like gun skins or like those kind of skins. Fair. Because they've already spent that amount of time in the game that they're like, oh, you know what? I'm now going to invest in it because I did already pay, like, I didn't really pay for anything else for it. So this is not going to like we said, like I said, it's not going to change everyone's just going to go now on Game Pass. And I don't think Xbox would expect that. They would love it, but I don't think they would expect that. I think it's going to, this is going to broaden more people to jump into COD because they are like, oh, they have Game Pass. They've never played COD before. Oh, you know what? Now it's going to be day one on Game Pass. I want to play this one.
But is it going to make like a shift that's like notable enough? Because how niche is that audience of people like myself who will just very like filthy casual play Call of Duty multiplayer? Like, are there a lot of people that are going to now jump in and be like, oh, well, now you know what? It's on Game Pass. Perfect. Maybe there are a couple people, maybe there's even a decent amount you could say, but is it enough for like, for it to make headlines?
Is it $69 billion worth?
Yeah, exactly.
I think reasonably, a lot of us probably don't think it's going to be enough. However, everything that happened with like Tango Games, I do think they're looking for like a quick return within the next couple years. I think Xbox is seeing a quick return to subscribers
but it's not going to matter
the subscribers for Game Pass, because they need to make that money, and I think they are feeling the hammer from Microsoft. And you know what? Like, I totally get what you're saying, Steve. It doesn't. But I do think they're trying to just pull out everything because we thought they had it in control. And it's pretty obvious that the higher ups don't think that they have it in control, and they're kind of putting the hammer down on them. So that's why I'm a little bit curious. And I think there may be a little bit of misinformation on this. Like, what is day one? What does day one actually mean? Is that early access? for users because of this parity thing? Are we still going to see it technically on launch day on every other platform? And it's just Game Pass gets it early access, and that's what they consider day one. Like, I'm really curious about these things and how it's being sold. Like, there's a little bit of, and it goes back to like trying to earn our trust again, right? Of like what Xbox really means by what they're saying, because we kind of hear one thing and then something else happens. And I do feel like this is still very unclear, and I can't wait for the the showcase to really dive deeper into like what this Game Pass actually means, because that would give us more information on like, okay, what are they looking out of this? Because right now, like based on how they've been acting, I do think they're looking for more subscribers. I do think that they want that money coming in, and it can technically like. You're thinking about spending like maybe $24.90. How much is game? $20 US? I can't remember what that is.
It ranges from 11 to 17 Canadian, I believe.
Yeah. So like if you're gonna pay that for 1 month and you're like, hey, let me try the new Black Ops 6, I could see a lot of people being like, okay, I'm gonna just do this and then I'll see. If they tag on now, you have like all the old Call of Duty games, I think that may actually be like the better price tag for a lot of PC and like Xbox users. So it I don't think it'll ever do the amount that they hope. But I do think that they are hoping for a lot, and that's what's scary. It's like, what is the expectation, and what is going to happen if this doesn't go the way they are expecting, or the way
but that's the thing. It is not.
It
is not going to matter to Xbox or Microsoft. They're getting their money no matter what, because it's going to be on PlayStation. It's going to be on PC. It's already going to be on Xbox. They're all going to be purchasable. It's not like Xbox is taking away anything from how it's already been done before.
I think it will matter because the question is now Game Pass. Yes, we keep saying Game Pass is the most like value for your buck in gaming, but is it, now that we've seen what happened with Starfield, everything that we kind of hoped would be these big wins for Xbox hasn't really delivered, right? So it's like, does this now shift Xbox's ideology of like what Game Pass is or what the future of Game Pass? If this Activision, like this COD move,
but here's the thing, like Game Pass, yes, I agree. This
make it,
I agree that the whole conversation just around Game Pass in general, yes, I agree. We don't know, it's the whole like what is Game Pass has been sort of trying to build. Everyone's been trying to figure that out for years, and Xbox can't even clarify what Game Pass is anymore. But when it comes to Call of Duty, everyone's saying it sounds like he's all saying it's kind of like doom and gloom for Call of Duty or this whole Activision. No, it's not. They're gonna get their money no matter what. Like this is gonna be their cash cow.
Call of Duty
they're gonna be fine. Like they're gonna be absolute. They're gonna get their $69 billion pretty quickly with the way that like the only additional thing is that it's just going to be also on Game Pass, which also can be able to benefit. Xbox can benefit because it will increase subscriptions, and also if you do put all of previous Call of Duty games on Game Pass, I can see them maybe including like Modern Warfare 2 or 3, like the previous years, because they are still purchasable. And maybe games that are not available anymore or barely available anymore.
Or all of Black Ops is available.
Yeah, all Black Ops is available. I could see that basically, because that's a good proposition for those COD players.
I do think like COD's gonna be fine. COD did the thing that games you would never think is possible. Put out the same game every year and people eat it up. Like COD is gonna be fine. But we are talking about like what this means for Xbox and what this means for Game Pass, and I think that's a little bit of a different conversation.
I think that's the big conversation.
Well,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Steve. We just, because we live in like the post like studio shutdowns, like what happened to Tango and so forth. Right now, what that means is they need like a big win. We know Call of Duty's not going anywhere. We know they're not going to do anything with any of the developers for any of the Call of Duty games, right? They want to keep those studios. They want to pump out Call of Duty games.
They need
every single year because yes, those games are going to be what help them recoup the cost of that acquisition. But they need big wins. They need big wins so that they can help supply those smaller creative endeavors like a Hi-Fi Rush, right? because if we don't get big wins out of Xbox anymore, then all the creativity goes out the door. We just have to play the safe bets from here on out. It's what you're seeing in the film industry as well. You know, you're looking at it just has to be a mega hit. Otherwise, like, that's it. Forget the 10 other indie movies we were thinking about working on. Now it's just, what's the next Marvel thing, right? And we're starting to see that shift here in gaming recently with what's happened with Xbox. I mean, even just in general throughout the entirety of this year, with the amount of layoffs across the board, eclipsing the total amount from last year. And we're halfway through 2024. Okay?
Right.
It's insanity. It's insanity. And so that's why when we talk about this, it's like they need a big win. They need something like Game Pass to really flourish. They need something like maybe Call of Duty on Game Pass to really bump those subscriber numbers up so that they can say, okay, we've got our safe bet here. We're making great money off of that. And that can allow us to help fund some of those smaller projects, some of these more creative projects, you know? Because then otherwise we're going to see more studio closures, and it's just going to be Call of Duty and whatever Bethesda's got going on. And that's it every single year, every 5 or so years, you know, like, and that's all we can expect forever.
And that was going to be a great setup to exactly what I was going to say, is that Call of Duty this is going to be the year that's going to make or break Xbox Game Pass, just in terms of having that nest egg. To exactly your point, Caboose, is like having that one game that they know every single year, hey, we've got subscribers, we've got the needle moving in just the right direction, so that things like South of Midnight, things like, well, not anymore, but Hi-Fi Rush, those smaller games, those are the ones that can be funded, that can be protected, and that Xbox can say, okay, we have the timeline now of when we're going to reach our 69 billion and get our money back. If, and I'm saying this with a big if because I'm still super skeptical, that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 doesn't move the needle like it needs to this year. I'm not saying that it's like going to be a major shift for Game Pass, but I really don't think that in a year's time we're going to be talking about Game Pass the same way.
I don't know.
Whether or not it's like another tier, increased price. They're going to have to redo that whole model, that whole business model, because Call of Duty is the one. They can't. I
honestly still think an increase in price is still coming. Not this year,
I
but
think so.
I don't think it'll come this year, but I think next year will definitely come out.
Yeah.
If it is coming, they should have launched. They should have announced it now, because, like, I think I heard this on Kind of Funny today. I think there was like, if they should have launched that price difference now, because then, you know, everyone's going to complain about it. Everyone's going to be like whatever. But then when they get to the marketing of Black Ops 6 being available day one on Game Pass, they have that new price, and people are going to sign up with that new price, and it's not going to matter. I think the thing right now, I still think, like, I don't think that, you know, Game Pass is going away anytime soon. I think that Microsoft has invested so much money into that right now, and I think that the fear is that basically Xbox is going to turn into a Call of Duty publisher only, and that's the only thing they're going to make. But I think that with Call of Duty being in Xbox's umbrella, I think that this opens up the door for that. What Matt Booty had originally said was, you know, even though we were making fun of him because it was in regards to Tango, being like, they can be able to make, you know, smaller, great games that, you know, are award winners. Because here's the thing. I've been thinking about this for a while now, you know, since the closure of Tango. I have a feeling that Tango was going to close even if Bethesda was bought by Xbox or not. Because Bethesda is still run as Bethesda. Xbox doesn't, like, Xbox has said, Phil Spencer has even said, we don't try to be able to take over or, you know, have a huge influence into other studios. We let them sort of make what they want. Now, granted, it did bite them in the butt with like Arcane Austin, and you know what? Maybe that was potentially the reason why that got shut down. But I have a feeling that because Tango Gameworks was outside of the North American, you know, market with Bethesda, it was its only international studio. Well, actually, Leon. Sorry, I apologize. So, because Arcane Leon's in France. Yeah. But I say that, you know, it's one of the only few international studios that they had. I have a feeling
it's the only one in Japan that they actually had in Japan.
Right, but that's Xbox saying that they had like a studio in Japan. It's not necessarily like, but you gotta think it's still Bethesda, and Bethesda wasn't exactly run in a great way anyway. We had like there was issues with Bethesda even before Xbox, like business wise, before Xbox even bought them.
But Steve,
I think that a large part of the sting from Tango's closure comes from just the amount of communication that was out there, the amount of proof that was out there, folks at Xbox saying we love what Tango has done here. We consider it a success. It's that communication that when they ended up closing them down, but made people go, what the hell?
That's been like, that leads to what my point was going to be, was that has been Xbox's biggest, like, I don't know what the phrase is, albatross, or is literally their communication. Their communication has been all over the fucking place.
But I think, Steve, that's because, like you said, like you believe Tango was going to close either way, no matter what happened. I think that's because Game Pass cost them a lot of money, and Microsoft is like, you got to start closing some of these studios that you've bought because you're just all this money.
You're too heavy.
Siphoned.
Yeah, and we just spent $70 billion.
But that's something but that's the thing. That's not a decision that they would have made within a month.
But
like, this is something that would have had to be in the works for a long time.
And I think that's kind of questionable. I think if you're seeing the books and you get management that's coming in here like, okay, we are seeing way too much money being funneled. Money is everything. They shut that off quick. You know, and that's exactly what happens when even mergers happen. You know that those layoffs are coming quick because that's more money going out the door that doesn't need to be.
But that's not something they would have decided within less than a month. Like, I
don't
agree.
think it would be necessarily less than a month, but I think they probably knew for a while there were a few studios that might have been on the chopping block if they weren't able to recuperate some money to help with what Game Pass has been siphoning out of Microsoft's pocket. And I think they probably still have a list of other studios that may be on the chopping block as well, but they don't action it until they absolutely have to, because obviously I don't think anyone wants anyone to lose their job, right? So they especially like how Xbox has positioned themselves historically. I do think that they're probably trying to do the best they can within the means they have. I do want to go back though on, Caboose, you mentioned, oh my God, now I forgot what you mentioned, but it was something along the lines we were talking about the Tango Games thing, and if this was like, no, I can't
just
remember.
like those creative endeavors, we will see less and less of them if we don't get such a big hit.
Exactly, and I think Game Pass, like whether we're going to see that in the next 2-5 years, I don't think it's something that they're going to shut the doors on it right away because they invested so much. Unless it continues to siphon money, they will shut those doors exactly like Google did with Stadia. And we see it countless times where these big tech companies throw money at things that they think they're going to be successful, and if it is not, they shut the doors on them real quick. And I think that could happen with Game Pass, but because of the moniker that like Xbox has in the industry, they probably will let Game Pass still be there, but it probably won't be a focus. And I think that's kind of like what Call of Duty may decide for Xbox. It's like, what is that next focus? Like, I think everything's just been so chaotic, and we've all been trying to make sense of the miscommunication, the communication, then going, back on that. And it's because they're trying to figure it out as well. And they're definitely feeling that hammer. And, I think when we look at Call of Duty, I'm more interested to see in what this means with the parity thing, because I'm curious to know what it means for Xbox. And Game Pass in particular, but I'm more curious on what it means for parity, because then this is the year kind of Xbox has to do something. We don't know what's on the slate for PlayStation. It's the perfect year for Xbox to really make a stance. Like, this is why you need Game Pass. This is what we've been preaching about Game Pass, and this is just solidifying this to you again. If they don't do that this year, you're really giving a hand to PlayStation to come back and be like, hey, we got you. We still have all these exclusives that you love and new IPs that are coming from the studios that you love, that now gives Xbox a chance to be overlooked. So yeah, I'm curious to what this parity mean as well, like how PlayStation's going to handle this, and like what does this mean day one Game Pass? Like, is it early access? Is it
Neil, you bring up
yeah.
a really great point in that, again, just solidifying that whole point of like, this is the year Xbox can kind of like nut up or shut up in a certain way because they are debuting this first Call of Duty on Xbox Game Pass. But then you also have Avowed, Indiana Jones. You also have Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024.
Age of Mythology Retold. Steve?
Yes. Honestly, like they have such a comprehensible Game Pass catalog to come out in the second half of the year that, yeah, because PlayStation is kind of unfortunately a little quiet right now as far as we know, this is the year that they're like, boom, 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 boom. Here's why you're keeping your Xbox Game Pass subscription for the next 6 months, all the way through until the next year. If they don't, again, I'm super hesitant to say that Xbox Game Pass can be viable in the way it can be this year.
Here's the thing. I mean, y'all definitely bring up good points. I'm not trying to argue against you or saying that you're wrong in any way. I think that there's a lot of calling smoke when there's fire they're seeing smoke and when there's like no fire. I don't know, whatever the phrase is. I'm
calling fire.
I'm following
it. Because I think it's like, yes, we don't know what Xbox is really doing right now. We don't know. We've been hearing rumors that Microsoft is trying to like battle between like okay, now they're paying attention to Xbox more and they're like, okay, we got to cut things that like here and there because they're not making money, and then Xbox is trying to be able to save their soul, whatever. Like I've heard that I've heard so many of those stories, and I've heard like so many like negative things about Xbox, and I'm not trying to be able to put a positive spin on it. I'm not an Xbox apologist anyway. I'm not even like I just like playing games period on Xbox. That's just what I like to do. But for me, I think that it's like I don't think that Call of Duty is going to affect Game Pass in any way. I think right now we don't know. Like there's been always that promise of there's the three things of what Game Pass was supposed to have. That originally, back in 2017 when it was first announced, it was going to have a library of games that are available, very much like a Netflix. Is that you're going to get all Xbox exclusive games or any Xbox first party games are going to be available on Game Pass, and they're going to be available on day one. We've already had the day one. We've already had the library. We have yet to really get a good amount of games that are like really good that sell. Like they've yet to get their
like
Stranger Things. They've yet to get their Stranger Things. They've kind of used the Netflix sort of subscription parody. They don't have that yet. Call of Duty is not even that really either. Call of Duty is not the Stranger Things that Xbox is looking for. Call of Duty is like that, like basically, Disney but getting Marvel. Like that is what that's the equivalent to that side of things. So you're right. I think Xbox needs a lot of wins, and I think right now Xbox has the opportunity to release a bunch of really great games to kind of sort of beat PlayStation a little bit, because here's the thing. PlayStation, I think, won this sort of current console generation because they had games that came out around the end of the PlayStation 4 and the beginning of PlayStation 5 based on previous franchises that did extremely well. Obviously, with Spider-Man, with Last of Us, and God of War. Those three games kind of really solidified a lot of PlayStation sort of getting winnings going into PlayStation 5. But I think that because the pandemic, because they already had those games in the works, now the pandemic has caught up to PlayStation. They don't have a lot of games to be able to put out right now that on that sort of same tier, like AAA, quadruple A tier level. Xbox has had that at the beginning of the pandemic. They had games that we were working on, but a lot of what they were hoping for basically got delayed, or whatever finances kind of come into play at that point. They were also acquiring Bethesda and Activision at the time, so there's a lot of things that was always in flux. I think that Xbox right now, this is their time. It's like, okay, they have how many, 30 some odd plus studios that they have. We have yet to really kind of see okay, that promise of every quarter we're going to get a new AAA game. We haven't seen that yet. I agree with you. This is the year that Xbox needs to do this. Do I think that if they don't, that Game Pass is going to end next year? No, I think Game Pass is still going to be around. I think that is still core of what Xbox is doing. I think that's regardless of whether it's going to make money or not, I think Xbox sees it as it's just good for the players. Yes, money is a big factor in that. But again, it just depends on who's going to win that the fight for Xbox's soul. Is it Xbox or is it Microsoft?
But to your
Well,
analogy,
I don't think they
said-
started the Game Pass out of the goodness of their heart either. Like,
Yeah.
I think they wanted
No,
to
true,
turn
but it was like
they just
They-
lost
I
it.
get what you're
Well,
saying,
They've
though.
just lost a lot of goodwill after
Yes.
what
Yes.
happened recently. It's really hard to hold on to their word of what they want to do for the players, you know?
Yeah, and I think
because
they know that.
we were all believers of that, right? Not
Exactly.
too long ago, we were all believers that, you know what? Yeah, Xbox Game Pass might not be doing great in terms of the business, but it's great for the players. You know, it's one of the best deals in video games right now.
Yeah.
And the more that we think about it, though, it's like, is it all front? I don't know. It's hard for me to just make that
I think they're
statement,
trying to,
so blanketed, but
it's the battle of the streaming wars, right? Like they're not going up against just other gaming streaming services. They're going up against other like titans in streams, Netflix. But
100%.
to Steve's analogy of like, Netflix first coming out, the Stranger Things, like what is that for Xbox? Like, yes, we have yet to see that. Maybe that will be Indiana Jones, but also Disney, like, getting Marvel, it definitely did make them a lot of money. And it definitely had people going over to get Disney Plus subscriptions because I wanted to watch WandaVision nonstop when that came out week after week.
And you were incredibly
right?
disappointed, right?
Oh my God! Do not start this. Aaron, do not start this. Do not. Oh my gosh. Anyways, that's another.
We all know X-Men saved
Aaron,
Disney Plus.
and
Okay.
but this is the thing, right? Where it's like I don't think they could justify a price increase unless they gather that trust again with Game Pass. That's why I don't think we're going to see an increase anytime this year. I think if anything, depending on the success of Call of Duty, or maybe not depending on the success of Call of Duty and Indiana Jones and everything they have planned for the later half of the year, we're going to see that maybe the end of next year, mid next year, for a price increase. But it is tough it's tough out here for a streaming service. That's all.
It's also just
I hope they
impossible.
got it, but I don't know, man.
It's also just impossible for a gaming streaming service to have a Stranger Things because of the length of development time for these games. The only thing that could maybe be that would be like a Call of Duty, but then again, just the question from there just becomes like, why wouldn't you spend the $60 or $70 and buy the full game? I don't know. We're kind of running in circles about the topic. All in all, I'm hoping for the best from the future of Xbox. I'm hoping for the best from Call of Duty and what that can do in terms of its impact on Game Pass. And I'm just hoping for less. It's hard for me to say no more studio closures because I feel like there's bound to be some more in the future. We could obviously hope for no more, but at the very least, I'm hoping for a lot less than what we have seen this year in our industry. Less layoffs, less studio closures, less of just a massive dent in our industry,
Yeah, and I'll end by saying this.
Amen.
I agree with you all. I think that right now, Xbox has a lot to be able to like gain our trust back.
Yes,
they had it for a while, and then it just the communications department basically keeps stepping on rakes constantly. They need to get rid of the rakes out of their yard.
Sideshow, a good
stop that.
A Sideshow Bob moment. Yeah,
they need to stop pulling a Sideshow Bob. Yes, 100%. Because right now that is the thing that has been their Achilles heel. I think pretty much this entire time. Because if you think about it. They have great games. I mean, I know that there was the discourse between, like with Hellblade 2 being like, it's really great or, it's boring. It's still a great game. It's still they do make great games. Is just the thing that basically that
still
prevents people.
It's got an 81 on Metacritic.
Exactly, and that it's the fact that it stayed at 81. It launched at 81, which is exactly the same the score that they had that for the first one had. Yeah. So they make great games. It's just the problem is just their communication has been so messy. We to the fact that we are now 7 years into Game Pass, and we still don't know what the messaging of Game Pass is, other than it's the best value in gaming. But that was more created by the fans than necessarily Xbox themselves. And that and day one, day one on Game Pass. Okay, day one on Game Pass, but give us something to that's worth playing day one on Game Pass. But I think that it really just comes down to they need to get rid of that albatross around their neck, like it just clean up their messaging instead of one hand doesn't know what the next hand is doing, or basically just be a little bit more. I don't want to say to be more transparent, but just
be the right kind of trend, just the right amount. We need just the right amount. We're either going in with too much salt on this steak or nothing at all. You know, you just got to put the right amount and cook that steak medium rare for us.
Because when they're
medium rare or bust.
When they're proactive with their communication, they're great. People gain trust back from them. But for every one of those, we get 3 or 4 of just like they're having to react to basically to the discourse or whatever. Yes. So I think that needs, like, they need more wins in the proactive communications column than a lot of reactive.
It is unfortunate too that, you know, they have these big tentpole launches like a Hellblade 2 or like a Starfield where, like, okay, they're not negatively reviewed. Anybody who's trying to like spin that narrative is just being silly, right? Like Hellblade's got an 81 on Metacritic. Even on the user review score side of things, is at a 7.4 with pretty much like hand over fist it being positive, right? So like a large amount of people who have played Hellblade 2 enjoyed it, right? And the same you could say for Starfield, but there just hasn't been that like, this is going to get nominated for Game of the Year.
It hasn't been like enough, right?
Yeah. Like even when you look at something like a Spider-Man 2, like that's not going to win the awards, but you know it's going to be nominated. You know, it's going to pop up.
They just haven't found their thing, right? Like Nintendo knows what they're doing. They got that market. You know, they can't really be touched there.
Yes.
PlayStation, they know what they're doing. Although some things are a little shaky because we don't know what's coming up.
Yeah.
But I think Xbox, again, banking on Game Pass to be their thing. And it's like, if it's not their thing, then what is their thing? Like, and I love Xbox, right?
Right now, Nintendo's like, that's your Michelin star restaurant. That's the one where it's like, you just know you're getting good food there. You might have to spend some money, but you know you're getting good.
That's your Shake Shack.
PlayStation's like your 4.8 stars, where it's like, oh, there's some damn good food, but every now and again,
the keg.
What came out of there? Xbox right now is that
Gordon Ramsay restaurant.
We're risking it going here. You know, we might be leaving with some food poisoning, we might be leaving with some good eats.
It's like East Side Mario.
They're a food truck because you can have them anywhere. They're a food truck.
Here's 100% your analogy. Yes, you're right. Nintendo's that 4-star Michelin, restaurant. PlayStation is kind of that, that upper tier. It's a bit expensive, but you're going to get good food no matter what.
Yeah.
And Xbox right now is a buffet. You can play whatever you want. Yeah. It's not known for really anything, but it's got it's Mandarin. It's got everything you want. And they need to stop being a Mandarin
right now.
I love Mandarin.
I do love me some Mandarin. Do we need a Mandarin outing, guys?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
I would love a Mandarin
At the end of the day, I just need Xbox to get their shit together for Marvel's Blade, because I think there's so much potential.
Yes.
But that's Arcane Leon. I have so much faith in them.
Yeah, true. And we have so long until then. So I'm hoping Xbox just starts doing this until 2027.
I think Call of Duty is kind of the mark of their turning point in their strategy.
I think it is as well.
It's like, we might have other storefronts on our consoles in the future. It's like, you want to be everywhere. And that's why, to your Netflix analogy, Netflix wouldn't work if it was locked to a Roku TV. Mm-hmm. It has to be everywhere to function, right? So that's their goal, which is why I think we'll probably, or I'm hoping that we'll maybe see that a little more clearly after their showcase.
Is 3 months? Sorry, I was gonna say, is 3 months the highest tier you can buy for Ultimate?
Yes. Yeah,
that has to change.
Yeah, they don't have the 1 years anymore. I don't think, right?
I
they don't have 1 year.
It's only 3 months you can buy.
Oh, because they're changing prices.
I wonder if
we're changing their offering, changing the offering because of everything. But even
the core, I was gonna say because core you could get 12 months, and that's literally less than the Call of Duty price. It's $70. So if I was Xbox and I want to get people hooked, bring back summer of summer of arcade days type of thing, but make it like a Call of Duty theme. So starting this June, if you get Game Pass right now, you'll get all these old Call of Duty, even just all the Black Ops. Even if you don't bring out Modern Warfare right away, just say all Black Ops 1 to 5. Bring it out for the summer. Get people hooked for 6 months.
They're definitely going to have to do some sort of waves, because if they just came out and spread shot of all our Activision games, that's the biggest waste of money I think I've had.
Yeah, this is like this.
But then it's also Steve, as someone who plays COD, I know people are playing on old servers. But do I want all the Black Ops? Like, yeah, maybe to play the stories, but like
If they activate the servers,
Well, they did that. They did that with Modern Warfare too, and the servers kicked. There was more people on there than the previous COD for a little while.
Well, live on Xbox
because it's garbage.
Yeah, they are.
It's trash. Game's
the big
trash
thing that they have to tackle right now is that they're plagued with hackers. If you go into the original Modern Warfare 2 servers right now, it's just hack lobbies.
They broke Ricochet. Like it's just not effective right now at all. It's so
I do think that if they are to come out and say, hey, listen, we're offering all these games, all these like tentpole Call of Duty games from the past, they're gonna have to rework and like moderate those online servers. Otherwise, it's gonna be a disaster.
Maybe that's what they're doing though.
Imagine they relaunch all these older Call of Duty titles that some people love, and they're like, by the way, we're going to clean up these servers. We're going to try and get rid of as many of the hackers as possible.
Yeah.
Like the level of excitement could be pretty huge. But
throughout the summer, like just bring it out and then leading up to a new one.
You know, converting all the servers into Azure servers. That's what they need. That's what they're doing right now.
Just don't bring back Advanced Warfare.
Well, that's another point too. Is that like if you're going to make a game,
Kevin Spacey? Okay.
What? Wait, I'm not talking about Kevin Spacey.
No, I agree with you. Like, get rid of that game. That game's Garbo.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, no, what I was gonna say was like if you're gonna make a game like a major AAA title on Game Pass, like Call of Duty's a smart one because it's filled with microtransactions. Yeah. Like you can, like you're just basically you're like trading the initial sales to like bring more people in to spend more money. Like the user base will be significantly higher, I would imagine, for the launch of this game because it's almost free to play when it's through a service like that.
But that kind of aligns with like, you know, Call of Duty. They're saying they're not going to release a Call of Duty every year anymore because.
Do you think that though? Do you think that'll actually happen?
I mean, they said
because I don't know that'll actually happen because they weren't supposed to do it last year, and that like I feel like they're pretty gung ho with the model that way. Because it keeps people entertained.
Like, unless they were waiting for whatever this partnership means, so then they don't need to because things will be available on Game Pass for longer, bringing in more microtransactions.
Yeah, that's a good point. But if you think about it, like, what's the point of staying subscribed to Game Pass for a full year, for example, if Call of Duty's just taking a year off next year? Like, I think you are losing the appeal of that service.
Yeah. And see, that's exactly why I want to see the old Call of Duties. Like, yeah, maybe some of the old Black Ops and maybe Modern Warfare, but like,
I feel like
I think other people will jump in, and like, especially during the summertime, people will love to play those.
Oh yeah, like when
to the new games. Like, if I'm using the new mechanics, if they bring in that like more Modern Warfare 2018, like gameplay, bringing back old maps, I think I'm good. Like, honestly, I think I'm good. I would rather play with my friends that have a game available than play with randos on an older COD. Like, you know what I mean? If they don't have Game Pass.
But I think you want to try to capture the people who are not playing it. Like, say, like, all the moms and dads out there right now who became parents. And they're like, oh, I remember playing this a couple years ago. And you want to win them back. That's new subscribers though. You get Game Pass for 3 months. Why not? You know?
There are Overwatch 2 onto it. There's a bunch of microtransactions there. Are they? I don't know if they've announced if they are.
I think Overwatch is on.
The game free? It's just
it is free.
It's a free game.
The driving Game Pass. Like, I wish we had that like data. Like, what games are doing really well?
Yeah, I know. There isn't enough info out there. Yeah.
Well, with that being said, we'll move on to topic number 2. That Resident Evil, Capcom is planning to bring up Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica, or reportedly, according to a Twitter X post by Dust Golem, good name, who said a remake of Resident Evil 0 and Code Veronica are in development right now. Now, Sony hasn't brought anything. Resident Evil and Sony, they're kind of hand in hand. Is this something we can see at State of Play?
I think it's a little too early, but maybe a tease, maybe something. Because traditionally, we always do see either Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 4 remake, usually at a showcase.
Yes. Yeah. And then Capcom will be like, later on, we're doing our own thing.
There's a lot of rumors out there too of, I think, like Resident Evil 9 being
that's
rather
soon.
That's the most exciting.
I think it's getting kicked. The can's getting kicked a little bit for that one.
Yeah, that one's getting
I heard that too. That it's being delayed till next year, 2026.
Well,
okay.
But
which is probably why we're getting a remake.
if they have all these back to back, wouldn't they just do a Resident Evil showcase like they've done before?
That's fair.
Yeah, that's what they always do.
Instead
They
of,
Yeah, and they don't always go well.
no,
let's
they
just put
don't.
it that way.
They're horrible.
but
I
that's,
usually
it depends
skip
on what they
through.
have. It depends on what they have like to show. Like sometimes they have like
For
a
sure.
Resident Evil like a showcase, and it's just what that multiplayer game that they that kind of
that
launched and
weird
bombed.
thing.
You got that lightning
what the
too,
hell that
Steve,
was.
just now?
Oh yeah, that's
I got that thunder as well just now.
That was so loud.
I was like,
Oh,
damn.
yeah, I didn't even realize I was looking out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I just
got
got
it.
it.
I did not hear any
Yeah,
lightning.
we all
just
just
hit
got
me.
it. I saw Steve reaction. I'm like, you got that
That is
thunder too, right?
My building
Wow.
shook just now.
Yeah, it was so
Really?
loud. I heard it from
Wow.
over here, from me.
I heard. I
Yeah,
could
me
hear
too, yeah.
lightning.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
yeah.
could hear thunder from
Yeah,
my
yeah.
place, but I did not hear any lightning at all.
I saw the flash, and I was like, "Oh, that's weird." And then,
Well, welcome to the
Yeah.
Weathercast. The,
Welcome
the
back.
official
Yeah.
Toronto podcast.
Oh boy, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
so that's why, like, because I guess from what you guys are telling me, Resident Evil 9 is getting pushed out a little further, so maybe
Yeah.
we're gonna expect one of these remakes first.
Yeah,
Yeah. A lot of people
is
are
that what
crying
we're-
for
is that what
Code
we're all
Veronica for a
thinking?
long
I have,
time. Yeah.
I have theories about Resident Evil 9 and the way that it's being framed right now, specifically after Dragon's Dogma 2. I think a lot of that is going to play into
Okay.
Resident Evil 9, which is why
Okay.
maybe they're like, okay, let's hold off on this. Maybe let's incubate and massage it a little bit more. But seeing the news of these two specific games, Code Veronica and then Resident Evil 0, make complete sense to me.
Yeah.
As specifically as someone who adores the Resident Evil franchise, seeing where Capcom has went from, releasing 7 and then going 2, 3, then releasing 8 and then 4 now.
Will we see 5?
That's the big thing, is that
Yeah.
That's the
Capcom was
We
at
should.
an inflection point of, okay, do we tackle the past, being 0 and Code Veronica, 2 games that I think ultimately pretty easy to remake, kind of tool up, and kind of get to the same level as Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4? Or do we go to 5 and 6, which I think complete, like you have, it's not
You
even a
have to
remake,
completely
it's a
redo
redo.
five.
Yeah, they had to
Yeah.
redo 5.
You have to
Yeah.
redo
Will
those
it be
games because they're
multiplayer? Like
exactly.
But I
co-op
still want my
part of
I
it.
still want my punching
6
boulder though.
Resident Evil 6
Please
is
don't,
the one
just
where it
don't,
was like,
just don't.
oh boy, like what
Yeah,
the hell
just
happened here? So that's the
Yeah.
one where I think like Resident Evil 6 like really like ground
6
up
was
needs the
horrendous.
rework,
and that's
right?
kind of why I think, hey, we have these 2 smaller games. They have smaller stories. They're in smaller
Yeah.
scopes. Let's work on those ones.
Yeah.
Work
But,
on
like-
9, and then really go hard on 5 and 6 and culminate this like.
I will say
9
I find
games.
it so weird like how out of order they've done everything.
They're
You
all
know,
over
like,
the place.
they-
Yeah.
Why didn't we just start? I mean, I know there is like a Resident Evil 1 remake or whatever, but
I think
like,
that's exactly why.
But then I was
Right?
gonna
Like,
but like
yeah.
if you do 0, then might as well just do 1 at that point.
I think we will
know?
get there
Should've.
eventually.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna-
we will.
Zero, Code Veronica 1, and then go
1
5,
remake
6.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just made sense to launch with 2 because I think that's what probably was
Yes.
easier to be able to build than necessarily
And it's iconic.
to go with 1. And it's
Yeah.
iconic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think correct me if I'm wrong, someone on the panel can, or maybe someone listening can. I thought that the original plan was, okay, so they have 7, they're working on 8. Let's just do 2 as, throw something at a wall, see if it sticks.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden they're like,
It was like a
oh,
mash.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good.
shit,
Yeah.
we need 3 ASAP.
Yeah.
We need 3
Yeah,
ASAP.
yeah,
We gotta work on 4 as well. Like,
I
I
think
No,
think
it's
they
the
were
same
caught off
it
guard.
definitely
Making
was
money.
because
That was
3
like
is so
bringing money
short.
in.
Yes, 3 is
Yeah.
so short, and you could definitely have lumped in 3 with 2 because they go along with each other.
Yeah.
So the events
Honestly-
happen, and then and then
Yeah.
Leon
Honestly,
is
I
later
like
on,
this
so.
model though, because it's like they've been doing some really great things with the newer installments and like how they've integrated Ethan, although I hate Ethan. There's just something about
Ethan Winters.
Yeah.
You don't like
He's an
him just
everyman.
putting his hand back on.
That's
was
exactly
fun.
why he's the everyday man.
That
And there were
ruled.
just-
Yeah.
But like there were things, yes, he was great in like 7, but then there was just like few things like after that. I'm like, I think I hate you, Ethan. Like I think I really hate you.
It's because he was talking too much.
You're just too normal, like too everyday man. Like you know. But like it allows.
I'm an
them-
everyday man. I shouldn't be here.
He's a
What a
sludge
wacky
man, man.
scenario.
He's a sludge.
I
He's a
gotta work
sludge.
tomorrow.
He's a sludge man. How can you say that?
But it's a proven model. They know that they have the dedicated fan base that love these games 2, 3, 4.
I'm just trying to work a
and
nine.
they're able to.
Damn it! Like, what is this?
What's this vampire mommy doing?
Yeah.
Hey, whoa!
Come on!
Oh, my hand fell
my
off.
good hand.
Oh no, now there are werewolves.
I don't know what's going on.
Now I can't type.
But I need to find my kid.
How am I going to do my 9 to 5?
I gotta file my 401k when I get home.
My kids.
Yeah, where's my daughter?
Oh yeah, where's my
She's
daughter?
over there.
Gross.
Over there.
Yeah. It's so creepy. But yeah, like I think it's like a model that works for them, right? Like they know that they have this niche audience. They know that they love these games. Remake that so it makes money for you to take time. It gives you time to work on these new installments that have delivered really well at integrating the horror elements as well as like the core cheesy storylines that fans love. I really do want to see 5 though. I want to see 5 and I do want it to be multiplayer. And I know that's very I want it to be co-op. I know it's controversial because of how successful everything else has been for them. But I
mean, that
just
game
can't
was also
see
controversial
Capcom.
for other things at that time.
Ooh, huge.
Well, I just can't. Well, they gotta like make it appropriate for the time of 2024.
And that's why
What
I
I'm
think they're just going to have
I
to
think
remake
it's
that
like-
game completely.
Sheva,
You can't
come
do the same
on,
story.
come on, Sheva, come on, come on, Sheva,
Yeah.
Sheva,
And the
come
boulder
on.
punch. Yeah, I need it all.
But no, we want that boulder punch. Like that.
I want the boulder punch.
1,000%.
I need that
If you don't
punch.
have the boulder punch in there, don't even.
This
make
game's
it.
trash. This game's
I
0 out
hope
of
they
10
just
for
Thing,
me.
right?
I hope
Shut
they
it down.
revamp it and he's headbutting
think-
it too. Like I want them to really go into it.
But it's like they know so much that like they would have to do 5 as a co-op, and because it would need to be rebuilt from the ground up, we need that time. So it's like
the only thing that I would hope for, although I think this is like a pipe dream, part of what I loved about Resident Evil 5 was the co-ops, yes, but that I could couch co-op.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
like
Yes.
Resident Evil
Absolutely.
4 is my personal favorite Resident Evil game,
Absolutely.
and the first ever experience I got of the game was watching my brother play it because I was too young, and he thought maybe I couldn't handle it, but then once I was like, nah, this is fine. He's like, okay, so we're gonna play Resident Evil 5 together, and I was like, oh my, like this is like the coolest. Like I loved playing RE5 with the split screen and everything. I don't think that they would do that. I feel like we're really losing that part of gaming in general, but that I would love to see. If
well,
they
it's
could.
like,
question,
and
was
also,
that-
like yeah? Go ahead.
I would say like that Resident Evil like multiplayer game that the recent one that came out, was that? Does anyone know if that was in the RE engine?
Yes.
Because I'm kind of curious as to why that, like, because if it was, then then maybe then I guess then 5. I think basically the way I'm thinking is like, okay, I think probably the delay of getting 5 is probably trying to be able to keep that co-op multiplayer, because I don't think they've done local multiplayer in RE engine yet. So I think that will be the real testing thing for that engine, because we haven't really seen that fully fully developed as of yet.
Yeah.
I think
Well, this
what
is Street
it will
Fighter,
be
I
as
guess,
well.
right?
Well, Street Fighter
That is
that's
true.
a different engine.
Yeah,
No, that's RE.
RE is
No,
RE, no? Isn't it
Street
the-
Fighter 6 isn't using RE. RE was specifically for Resident Evil, I think.
No, RE
Yeah, and
engine.
then I
Dragon's
think-
Dogma
I
2
Dragon
is
Dogma is
also-
an RE as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really? They are.
yeah, it's RE engine. Yeah, yeah.
RE has not like the
Has nothing
RE
to do
engine
with-
has nothing to do with Resident Evil.
It started
despite
off-
its
It started off with
RE
7,
stands
yeah.
for something else. It does not
Yeah,
stand
yeah.
for Resident Evil. I don't think I've seen that. The Street
Yeah.
Fighter 6 use RE engine.
Yeah,
I
but
Googled
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I'm
yeah,
also
yeah.
curious to like
Okay, never mind.
at what point, because I do think that they may change up things in 6 to link to, well, they've been linking kind of everything to like the modern storyline. So I think they do need time to flesh it out like in a way that would make sense for a Resident Evil franchise, because a lot of things in Resident Evil doesn't make sense. It's like when they get to 6, how are they linking that up? Oh my god, will we see Umbrella Corps? Please no. Please no. No Umbrella Corps.
What are you talking about? 8 is like Neo Umbrella. What the hell is going on with that?
Well, I think that's the big thing, is that 6 was supposed to be like the Avengers moment, getting all 4
Yeah.
characters together and then concluding their story.
Minus
But then all of a
Jill.
sudden in 7, they're like, never mind.
Yeah.
just gonna
We like
begin the
money.
story.
Because
No,
they
no,
made
you're missing- you're
Resident
missing-
Evil
they said-
6, and they were straight up like, oh, this is
Yeah.
Avengers now. It's going to be all action. We're going to totally forget the roots of this game being horror. And then PT dropped, and
Oh,
people
yeah.
were like, yo,
I want this. Yeah.
this
No,
first
you're missing
person
the
horror
step.
thing. Give me
You're
that.
missing the step. They were like, oh, and then we're going to completely forget all the horror and just go into tactical like a shooter. That's all we're gonna do.
Operations.
For
Umbrella
Resident Evil
Core.
6 you're talking about, right?
No,
Or
after
the
6,
spin-offs.
Then they had Umbrella Core.
oh, I
which
totally
was just
I
a
blocked that out of my
But
mind.
that was before
don't
that was
bring it back
before
in your
6
mind.
though. That was before
Don't bring
6.
it.
Yeah.
No,
Because
after.
it was PT that
That
were
was
like
after.
everyone was like,
Yeah.
yo, we
And then
need that
PT,
first
yeah.
person
Yeah.
horror experience. And then they were like, okay, we're just gonna do that for Resident
Remember
Evil
that? But you remember the demo? The demo was a lot scarier. The Resident Evil demo, beginning hour, had so many Easter eggs and everything as well.
It was a
Oh,
lot
yeah, yeah, yeah.
scarier. The whole game was scary. Like, I think the demo did a really good job. setting the
RE7 was
tone.
definitely
That was
way
absolutely
scarier than Resident Evil
yeah.
8. Resident Evil 8 still has its moments, honestly.
More
like
action.
The dollhouse. Whoop.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
my
yeah, there was
goodness.
definitely some more action oriented moments
Yeah.
throughout RE8. But I think RE8 it gives you like a good balance because there's still good scares, there's still good like thrills that get your heart pumping, but there's also like those fun like moments where you know what, I've got like an unlimited arsenal now, I can go nuts. You
I'm
know?
fighting a dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
And later
She was 9 foot. She was 9 foot tall. Now I'm fighting a dragon, being chased by a
Ethan
sludge,
Winters, the man of the
sludge
people.
baby.
Man of the people. We found his 401k that night.
Right.
Oh boy.
Boy, well, you know what? That's our whole episode right there. We're well over an hour, folks. Unless you want to throw in anything else? Anyone else? No.
That's all. I mean, I
I'm
posted in
good.
the chat because I mean, next week I guess is the culmination of 10 years of video game storytelling.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Destiny 2, the final
Damn.
shape dropping.
That trailer
so
was
I'm hyped
dope.
for that.
That
Yeah, I mean,
trailer's
I'm just hyped for that.
Rips.
That's wild.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's still a little bit jarring to be able to hear Keith David as Savala, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. It's fine. But yeah, I've
think
been
it's a
burnt
good
out by Destiny for the past year. And it like seeing now the hype kind of being built up for Final Shape. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm ready to go back in and
I'm just bummed out that it drops like 2 days before I gotta head out for Summer Game Fest. Like, I'm getting no time with it. Yeah,
I'm trying to be able to like organize some time with my buddy T, because like my best friend T is like the one who brought me into Destiny. He's brought me, literally was the reason why I started streaming, and because we streamed Destiny for the first time together. And so like we're doing this to get, like, we've been doing every campaign, streaming it live, like at launch, or at least close to launch, like throughout the entire campaign, and we've been actually been doing it on legendary level for the past 2. So we're debating on whether to be able to, like, because I'm going away, whether to be able to play it on June 4th and 5th, to kind of give us like 2 days to be able to play it, or just wait until I get back out on the 12th and just play it then. But that's going to be hard to avoid spoilers.
I'm going to try and just marathon as much as I can before I leave, just to get myself adjusted, and then that way I can jump right back in and hit the ground running when I get back.
Hey, do you want to, like, jump in this weekend?
Squad up.
Maybe?
Yeah, let's do it.
Squad up.
I have been for me. I have had a nice and healthy relationship with Destiny, where I play the new content drops. I enjoy everything that they have to offer, and then I check out for a year, and I don't have to get frustrated with the season to season
right
stuff,
here.
you know?
That's the most healthy, sustainable way.
I think that's the best way to do it.
As someone who has done, the expansions plus the seasons throughout the entire year, it can be a lot. I understand
that's how I started with D1. I mean, Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, I think, outside of like Marvel Snap, are my most games played. Like, I have the most hours logged into those games. And Destiny 1, like every single day. Come home from school, jump on Destiny. If it's the weekly reset, you run your raids, you get your rewards, you do your nightfall, you run the gambit. Not literally, because that game mode,
Actually, I like it, but I understand your reason why.
With Destiny 2, I was starting to get to the point where I was like, I want to play Trials. I love my PvP. I like the competitive aspect of that too. And I do run my raids every now and again, but starting to become a chore creating like different loadouts for PvP and PvE. I know they introduced loadouts now though, so I'm going to jump in and try and just mess around and have fun.
But they have a like 2 new modes that I've been very curious to try out. There's the Onslaught, and then I think there's
Onslaught's like their Horde mode thing, right?
Onslaught's their Horde mode, and then they have I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it's like literally where you can basically marathon the all the raid bosses. Like you get a fire team together, you can go through all the raid bosses in one go. And it's like, and I was like curious to jump that in. I was like, nah, that might be too difficult for me to play. You really need good comms for some of those bosses.
Yeah, it just got to the point for D2 where it was like, I want to check out these content drops. I want to enjoy them. Lightfall really didn't capture me. I wasn't like, I couldn't get that hook like I did with the Witch Queen.
Oh no, a lot of people felt the same way. Like that's what burnt me out. I was like, Lightfall is just so boring. I couldn't get into it. The seasons weren't really like pulling it for me, even though I heard that like as soon as I dropped off that season of the Witch was probably one of the best ones that I heard them do. But I'm like, that's few and far between for some of the seasons now. But with this one, it was like they are changing up their season where they're doing episodes where they're instead of doing every 3 months there's a new season. It's like every 4 months there's an episode, and they each have little content drops throughout. Cool. And so they did announce that like I think a year or so ago. So that's going to be like how they're going forward for the next year. It's going to be the sort of the aftermath of what happens after the final shape. So I don't think we're going to hear about what the next sort of a phase of Destiny is going to be like. But until for a while, maybe we'll see it now more with the when the campaign ends for Final Shape, we'll know more. But essentially, like the thing that honestly what really got me in, and this is spoilers for those who hadn't caught up with the season, whatever. But there was this one cinematic that ended this season. It was where Crow jumps into the Traveler and it gets into a firefight with Cade.
Oh man!
And it's like they even line up with like literally the same shot of Cade or basically like Crow previous to Crow was like facing off against Cade and Forsaken, like literally the same shot but reverse, where Crow is on the ground, Cade's pointing at him with the Ace of Spades, and it's like, and it like even Cade says like, I thought you were dead, and Crow's like, same with you. And then awesome. it was just the two of them kind of like, and then the Cade's like, I don't have to call you Prince, do I? And it just like that enough. I was like, that was enough of an Easter egg that I'm like, yes, yes, I'm back in, baby.
I'm hyped to see what they're gonna do to kind of wrap all this up, because when Destiny was first announced, it was we heard there's a 10-year plan. There's a 10-year plan. We
2014.
We've reached that mark.
That's wild.
It's been
That's crazy.
It was the first game I think I live streamed on Twitch on my PS4 with my Turtle Beaches.
I did PS4 too. Yeah.
Holy smokes. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. It does suck that it's coming right at the same time the Summer Game Fest is rolling around, but I'm going to try and get as many hours as I can into that. And outside of that, again, I'm just looking forward to Summer Game Fest. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys in person, doing all the festivities.
What are you doing this week, though?
What am I doing this week?
Not
playing Suicide Squad, that's for sure. I'm still, you know what I'm doing this week? I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that we get a State of Play or a PlayStation Showcase announcement, and that we get some sort of information. I'm still hoping that we get some sort of Spider-Man 2 DLC this year. We'll have to wait and see for that. But yeah, outside of that, I'm still playing a lot of Marvel Snap. I've been reading a bunch of comics lately too. I've just been kind of vibing. It's the weather's getting nicer too, so like I'm doing that thing where you get to see like the good graphics outside.
Are you sure about that?
You know what? Yeah, maybe today. Yeah, you're right.
Are you touching grass, bro? Are you touching grass over there?
Hey, let's not get too crazy, okay? I'm not Ethan from Resident Evil.
I was almost furious.
But yeah, that's it. Just counting down the days till Summer Game Fest and playing some games here and there. Yeah.
Nice. Sammy?
Yeah, not too much. Probably Deltarune 2, gonna finish that, and then I will watch all of you on your adventures in LA. And very sad I'm not going this year, but it'll be fun for you guys.
Hopefully, Steve Saylor.
Yeah, like I said, got my TTRPG, one-page TTRPG launches today. You can go to pistolsandpowers.com or just go to dungeonsanddisabled.com, and it's going to be available there. And yeah, I'm excited for... Google it. Never Google it, or at least until we can get it to the first ranking. I want it to be the first ranking at Google SEO, and like that's what I'm trying to do. But I'm really curious. Download. It's really cheap. You can basically buy. Like I know it's like anyone can afford $4, but no, like literally it's just $4. You get the PDF, play it with your friends, give it a chance, and if you have any ideas to if or any home rules, please let me know because I'm always willing to update it. But yes, it goes live, and then also if you want want to, if you're curious of how it's played, there will also be a playtest one shot that I recorded at PAX East 2024 at the Voodoo Ranger Lounge that we put together. So that's going to be available.
Angelina was a part of that. I think I saw her tweet out something. Angelina?
No, it was Sam, CM basically, and Anxiety and Ashlina were the 3 players.
That's what I said, Ashlina.
I said Angelina.
I knew I did say Angelina. Sorry.
But yeah, no, I'm excited. And then just getting excited for Summer Game Fest next week. It's coming up fast.
Awesome. Steve V. Have you been playing X Defiant?
I just installed it, actually. I haven't had a chance to play. Actually, what really started, I started sinking my teeth into is the new season of Diablo, which absolutely fixed all my issues with the game post-launch. The grind for the leveling, the loot, it's all immaculate right now. So I'm at a crossroads now that it seems like every single games as a service wants to pull me in every single direction, whether it's X-Defiant, Multiverses, Diablo, Fortnite, now Destiny next week. I'm like, can we just ease up a little bit? We've gone from, no games as a service that are really speaking to me to all of them right now. So
I mean, it's better than it was. Like it's a little slower than it was last year. I'm just saying.
I'm just talking I'm not even talking like regular games. I'm talking about like games that just want to rope all my money and my time and
fair.
There's still a whole calendar of other games like Paper Mario that
Fortnite.
I know
that Fallout Power Armor in Fortnite,
right?
Though. You gotta get that.
I know.
God damn it, Fortnite.
Yeah. And God forbid if they drop that rumored Fallout collab in Call of Duty. Oh my God, it's over. It's over for me and my wife.
Oh, I'm so getting it.
Spoiler alert! I'm buying it. So
they gotta put Ethan the Everman in Fallout or no Call of Duty and Fortnite.
Just his hands,
just
falling
his hand,
off.
You can attach a gun to it.
His hand's just a charm. Tangs up.
Oh, that's
How we do that?
Yeah. I'm just kind of going through it all and just counting down the days till Summer Game Fest. Looking forward to hanging out in LA with y'all.
Oh yeah, Riley.
I'm not going to Summer Game Fest, which is
Boo.
bummer,
Boo this man.
I know, but you guys are gonna have a blast, and it sounds like everything cool is lining up nicely. So
we're all gonna see each other next week. We know that, right? There's another episode next week. Right?
No,
that's it. Oh, okay, all right. I just want to make.
Yeah, we're checked out.
Last pod.
Who are you people?
Made it what?
No, I'll probably
34 episodes.
30. Would it be like 39?
This is 38. Yeah.
38. Oh. If we didn't make it to 40, I'd be real sad. Come on, guys.
Yeah, we gotta make it. All right.
I guess.
All right. Pretty much though, like my week is probably just gonna consist of. I feel like I could probably platinum Sea of Thieves this week, but I've got a lot of other stuff coming up too. Because I'm getting married. Camille probably forgot. So I'm just doing a lot of planning right now, and I'm going to Japan and stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on that I'm trying.
Where the hell did Japan come from? Wait, what?
I'm going to Japan. Going to Japan. Yeah, I'm going on a honeymoon.
When?
So
I remember.
Oh.
Camille, by the way, he's going on a honeymoon to Japan.
Yeah.
Because he's engaged.
That's a result of getting married. We go on the honeymoon.
And you met his fiance as well.
And stop Googling guns. Yeah.
For the love of God, stop Googling guns. We're tired of it.
Love of God.
We're trying to get sponsors.
Unless the NRA wants to sponsor us.
Western.
No.
Dear God, no.
Out there.
Just saying.
You'll never get your Lego pieces now. That's it. It's gone. Deco tree gone.
Way to go, Steve. We were all going to get Deku trees, dude.
Camille, how about you?
Yeah,
sorry, Riley. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's it. That's all I got.
Don't feel sorry for cutting him off. He deserved it.
So cool of you. That's the coolest thing you've ever said.
Now the two of them are back and fighting
Now
against
they're
each
back.
other.
When they were on their own, they were
This
2 episodes ago. They were like in harmony and everything, man. It was weird.
We're still riding together with that bet.
Page,
Yeah,
for that
we got
bet.
that perfect arc bet, so I'm really hoping it pays off.
We're back to being enemies.
Yeah, we're not going to be friends. I'll cheers you, but after that, it's over.
Yeah. As soon as I choose you, I like throw my glass on the floor and I'm like, "You're done."
Yeah, just swirl me. Yeah.
This week, I have my NASCAR stuff that's happening.
NASCAR?
The latest season of Rainbow Six Siege came out for year 9, season 2. Operation New Blood. So you want to be sure to check that out as well. And then, yeah, honestly, I just want to play games. Like, I just want to play games because I feel like when we're going to Summer Game Fest, I don't know, something tells me PlayStation's probably going to announce Thursday or tomorrow. And I feel like we're going to get a state of play on Tuesday. Like, there's just something.
You think at this point
okay.
that it's next week? If it's something that's next week, I'd say it's a showcase.
It would have happened it would have happened already if it was this week.
If we get an announcement for something next week, it's a showcase.
With
If
all the
we're getting something
news
this week, it's a state of play.
that we're getting, like, you know, with Astrobot and then like with
Astro
just
Boy.
a lot of rumors happening, I'm like, I feel
Astro
like
Boy.
this is gonna happen next week. So I feel like when that happens, we're gonna be like, oh crap, we have to do so many things, and then we're gonna be on a plane and we're like, more things. So I'm just trying to enjoy some games before that happens. Ooh, and I planted a cherry tree. That's the
Oh, nice. Very cool.
My
That's
garden
cool.
is up, and I'm gonna have to bring you guys some fruits and veggies for my garden.
Please.
So yeah, not you, Riley.
I hear he hates
Why
fruits
don't
and
I get
He
fruits or
hates
veggies,
fruits.
dude? What the hell?
veggies.
He specifically hates fruits. I say that when this episode comes out, PlayStation will announce at 4:00 Thursday they're having a state of play. That's what I'm
That'd be
saying.
interesting.
Yep. So when this episode comes out, you will hear the announcement. Be ready
Well,
on Thursday,
there-
everybody, 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Breaking news. No,
PlayStation?
I'm just kidding. Bilbo Coon. Bilbo Coon has a rumor update. Apparently, he says God of War Ragnarok port for PC will be announced very soon.
Damn right. This
I know
Have a
Thursday.
showcase.
Yeah,
How can you have a showcase and announce it the day before? Like, it just
You
sounds-
can't.
they do that. Nintendo does that all the time.
Yeah, but PlayStation
Showcase,
doesn't usually
though?
do that.
PlayStation has done it before.
Showcase they usually give about a week, and it's like if it's a state of
they
play, it's
usually
usually like a
give,
day or
at
two.
least 5 days.
Listen,
like, it's weird.
Nah.
If it's
We
a
all
showcase, if it's a showcase, it better be announced tomorrow, and it better be on June 5th. All I'm asking is for PlayStation to not be
God,
doing
if
something
it's
big the day
yeah.
we're all traveling to Summer Game Fest. That is all I am asking.
I agree.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
all.
6 would
I
be the
agree.
worst day to do it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
It will
But,
that-
you know, given our
please,
luck,
God,
it probably
no.
is gonna be that's probably gonna happen.
I also saw a really funny tweet where someone was like, imagine if it was just that bullshit corporate meeting that they did last week, and everyone was like, oh, it's gotta be a state of play. They're doing something, and it's just Hiroki Totoki being like, hey, have you guys heard of AI?
and then misquote Neil Druckmann the entire time.
that was wild. He was so pissed
Yup.
off about that one.
same.
Deservedly so.
yeah.
He was very professionally pissed
He
off.
was,
about
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, that's my prediction. I'm still doing my charity for the last week, and
Nice.
yeah, and that's pretty much it. We'll see you here next. We are here next week, by the way. We're not leaving
Are
yet.
we? Are we?
Oh no.
Oh, I am at least. So I don't know.
it. Marcel just talking to himself.
Just people, hey, welcome everyone. You know. Have yourself a good one, everyone. Take care.